Hello, and welcome to Right Here, Right Queer. I'm RK Ashwick, here today with Luna Daye.
Hi.
And we are talking about something a little different, a little more reader-focused. We're talking about Luna's Bookish Buddies. Luna, could you tell us what Bookish Buddies are?
Yeah, so Bookish Buddies are basically physical reading trackers where readers can write down their reviews, they can store lists of books that are on their TBR, there's a few sort of challenges in there, colouring pages, kind of like a mini activity book all centred around a yearly reading sort of goals and achievements.
That is awesome. I will confess, I have bought one. It is my first one, so I'm very excited. I've never used a tracker like this. I only ever have like my Trello list, which is functional, but it's kind of unfun. So I am personally looking forward to like the coloring pages and all of the other fun stuff that kind of romanticizes reading goals a little bit more. But I wanted to ask, since you've been doing this for a couple years, how did you get all of this started? What inspired you to create this?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for purchasing one.
You're very welcome.
I really hope you enjoy using it and I look forward to updates. I've said before, I got back into reading heavily during lockdown, and I was sort of active in bookish spaces, and I was using sort of digital means of sort of recording what books I was reading, what books I wanted to read, and sort of, leaving reviews and things. And I just stumbled across other people doing, sort of more physical journals with their reading achievements and reviews in. I found a few Pinterest pages with them on, and I was like, yeah, I really want to do that. And so I started just doing my own. I bought a little A5 journal and I was drawing it all out by hand and I was sharing it on social media, and I had quite a few people sort of comment on there. People were liking what I was doing and sort of said, oh, how do you do this, how do you do it, and where are you getting these from? And I was like, I literally draw them myself. And so I thought, well, actually, if people are liking what I'm doing here, perhaps it's something people would like me to provide that for them. So I designed my first one digitally so it could be, printed, and here we are.
That's awesome. So it seems like it really came about organically from this is something I want for myself. And then, this is something that maybe other people might also be interested in. And then it just grew from there.
Yeah, definitely. And it's all part of the fun for me. It's all part of the enjoyment of reading. I'm a real sort of tracker statistics type girl. So I love having that sort of physical record each year of what I've done, what I've achieved. And I really enjoy the process of creating that. And I understand that not everybody has sort of the time or the patience to do it. So I thought, well, if that's something people want from me, I can provide that because I'm already doing it anyway, kind of thing. I was already doing it for myself. So I'm happy to sort of share it with other people.
And maybe this is a loaded question. Have you found that you've been reading more since you started Bookish Buddies? Has it worked?
I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here. No. I actually haven't.
Well, now you're designing the thing, so the time that you would take reading is now going towards actually making the Bookish Buddies.
There's that. There's definitely an element of that. I'm definitely a mood reader, and so I do struggle sometimes with sort of carving out the time to do the reading, and I have, especially this year, had a few sort of personal struggles where reading kind of fell off the radar a little bit, and I had sort of 2 or 3 months where my reading trackers were blank, and it makes me really sad. But it's one of those things I can look back in years to come and go, oh yeah, 2025, that was quite a tricky year, and I've got that. It's not just a reading journal, it is almost a record of where I was at in my life at that time as well. So it's got kind of a dual purpose, and it's nice to have those statistics because at the end of this year I'll go, okay, this is how many books I've read, this is what genres, etc., and then hopefully next year when I start using my new 2026 tracker and my Bookish Buddy, I can have a better statistics and improve on this year.
That's a really nice way of looking at it, is hey, I know I was in this reading slump, but it was just reflective of what was going on in my life, and there's really no need to sugarcoat that or change it. It is what it is.
Yeah, and I try to design them in a way that there's no pressure. I choose the 100 review space Bookish Buddy. I haven't ever hit 100 books. I always set that as my goal for the year, and I've never hit it, but I like to leave myself enough space for that, and I don't put myself under any sort of pressure to go, oh no, I haven't hit that, I'm a terrible reader, I'm the worst. There's none of that. It's just there's enough space. If I hit 100, great. I think I'm on book 28 for this year, and I've enjoyed every single book that I've read this year. I've had no DNFs. Everything's been 3 and above stars. So I've had a good reading year. It just hasn't been as I haven't read as much as I would have liked to, but everything I have read, I've really enjoyed. And that's a really good achievement for me, I would say.
You unintentionally went for quality over quantity, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So we've talked about how you design these yourself, and you've designed a couple versions now. What is a tried and true part of the design that always sticks, and what have you been changing out, or what new stuff have you been trying?
So this is really tricky because there's a really fine line, and I think this can apply to any sort of art or creative outlet, from the Bookish Buddies to writing books and other creative outlets. There's part of me that wants to design it for me, that's where it all came from, so I know what I like to put in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know what I like, but also I want it to do well. I want it to appeal to other people. Realistically speaking, I want it to sell. I want other people to enjoy them, and so it's a real balancing act. I mean, the main sort of pages within them haven't changed a huge amount since the current sort of layout started. So it's been this is the third year I've used the same layout internally now. So you've got the review pages, there's the bookshelves, which the TBR bookshelves, there's a few challenges at the front, and then the sort of monthly tracking and sort of annual kind of a statistics breakdown of, everything that's been achieved throughout the year. In order to try and make it accessible, I normally do 2 to 4 different versions with different thicknesses. So everything from 52 books to 300 books, space for those reviews. And I always try and change up the colouring pages, so there's always 4 colouring pages. I have left one in this year, which is a Bookish dragon, because I was really proud of him and I thought he was really cute, so I left him in, but there's 3 new ones. And I also change up the bookshelves, so different people use them in different ways. I use them to mark off the books that I've read, and they tend to have little kind of trinkets and creatures and things in them, and there's a couple of bits in there that I tend to use every year. There's a squirrel that I drew that I really like, this little squirrel, so I just leave him in every year. And there's I just really like the little squirrel dude. And there's a Luna moth, obviously I'm Luna Daye, so I leave the Luna moth in. And there's a arrow bookends, and I actually own those bookends, so I always leave those in because I own those. But top secret, I am thinking about having a big overhaul for the next set. So next year I'm looking at trying something quite different with them. The general basis is going to be the same, but I'm thinking about giving it a bit of a refresh.
So yeah, more stuff to look forward to for 2027. Oh, also, I am very excited about the Bookish Dragon. I will definitely be filling that in. Is there anything else that you are particularly excited about for the 2026 version?
I haven't changed a huge amount, and I'll be really honest, like I said, I've had a bit of a tough year this year, and I knew there were people who were wanting these. I was reached out to by a few of my readers, and they said, we're really looking forward to Bookish Buddies, and I was umming and ahhing about even to release them this year. So just the fact that they're out there in the world, I'm just happy to have achieved that. I haven't changed as much as I probably would have liked this year, but yeah, I'm just happy for the people that have purchased them to enjoy them, and obviously I've got mine to use for the coming year. So I think the best thing about them this year is that they exist.
Yeah, I would say that is still a huge accomplishment, and I think that absolutely counts. And I mean, you said that you already had a lot of ideas for 2027, so you're buying yourself time to really cook on the big refresh.
Yeah, and it was potentially going to be this year. I did start sort of playing around with some ideas. I shared them with some friends, and I think I was starting to cook with it. And then, it got to sort of October, and I really hadn't done enough to be able to have them sort of ready for sort of December time, because they are annual trackers. So the idea is that most people get them in December or January, so that they've got the whole year to enjoy them. And I was like, no, I don't want to rush it. I really want to put everything I've got into this refresh. And so what we're going to do is we're going to stick with what we know works. I'm going to, update the colouring pages and the bookshelves and just make sure everything's good and, keep the quality as it has been, because I think, people have enjoyed that. And the covers, I actually went back to the original covers. I just changed the colours slightly, sort of kept with the tried and tested stuff that people seem to have liked so far. And I was like, do you know what? I've got the 4 different types, the 4 different sizes out. I've redone all the drawings inside. That's good. And next year we're going to focus on the updates and stuff, refreshing it.
Yeah, a lot of things to look forward to. And also, I mean, I think you're still cooking with these current versions, the 2026 versions, because I've seen, at least on Instagram, how you've been packaging them with the wax seals, with your new seal, and the stickers and everything. It's just so super cute.
I mean, I try and make it special, and I'm a real sucker for anything that's kind of direct from an author. I love getting, extra stickers and art and all that good stuff. I will definitely spend more money to buy direct from an author to to get the extra goodies. So I like to include that when people buy direct from me. So yeah, there's like loads of stickers. I got really good stickers this year. I was really pleased with the stickers I've got, and I love using wax seals. I always use wax seals. I've got so many wax seals now because I just keep buying new themed ones. And I previously I had a custom one for when I first started as an author, which was just my initials and a sword, because that was kind of my whole thing. And I was like, no, I need a new one for this year. And I got this really cute one, which is like a book with a moon and some stars. And I was like, that's way more appropriate for the Bookish Buddies. And I had so much fun using my new stamp. It's like a bit of my sort of trademark calling card now to have everything wax sealed.
And I mean, it totally works. I could watch people wax seal packages all day. So yeah, I love that you do that. And I'd absolutely agree on, that's part of the fun of being an indie author, is choosing how you present every aspect of your work. And that includes the packaging and kind of having the control over making that special.
Yeah, and it kickstarts the experience. Like, the whole point of the Bookish Buddies is to really embrace the reading journey throughout the year. And that starts when you open the box. You've got this really cute wax, so you've got a load of stickers. I mean, I had a reader, was it last year? It might have been the first year that I did the current design. And she did a video and she posted it to social media, and she covered every spare square of space with stickers and washi tape. Like, she really went to town on personalising. Yeah. And this was a really long video, and she's like, I put like 20 stickers on this page, and like I covered this page in washi tape. And she still used like the colouring pages and the trackers and things, but she really went to town on like customising it and things. And I loved that. And I just think that, like, yes, I set them up in a way that I enjoy and I appreciate visually, but there is scope to then personalise them. And they sometimes look quite different by the end of the year. Like, as I gather, like, I buy so many stickers, so as I gather stickers, I add them to the book, and I'll be like, oh, I got that sticker from that author or that like bookish box, and I'll remember what I got that year because the sticker was in my Bookish Buddy. And it's all part of that yearly experience and that yearly sort of journaling of not just the books you've read, but the experiences that you've had throughout that year.
That must have been very rewarding, seeing somebody take what you designed and really make it their own, because that's like, the whole point. That must have been awesome. I love seeing stuff like that, any kind of reaction from readers, even though for books it's a little bit different.
And like I said, it originally came from designing it for myself. And I was just like, hey, other people seem to like what I'm doing, and I'll just make it available to other people. And then seeing other people kind of put their own spin on it and personalize it and really enjoy it and embrace that sort of whole experience of not just reading books, but sort of tracking things and, any sort of bookish activity that enhances the reading experience. Like, I absolutely love that, and it makes it all worthwhile to sit there for hours and hours drawing books and bookshelves.
So if listeners out there want to join in on the fun and add stickers and washi tape to their own version and fill out the trackers and fill out the coloring pages, where can they find Bookish Buddies?
So the Bookish Buddies are only available direct through me. So that's on my website, which is lunadaye.com. And I am on any socials under Luna Daye Writer. So if you do get a Bookish Buddy and are enjoying using it, I would love to see your journey and experiences with it.
Yay! And I will definitely send you updates as I fill in mine. Hopefully I will read a lot next year. That is the goal.
Yes, please. Hopefully the Bookish Buddy will encourage you to read more and enjoy the experiences.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm hoping for 2026. And for this podcast, you can find us on Instagram at Right Here, Right Queer Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye!